Hello, so creative, it's Faustina here. Welcome to today's tutorial. If today is your first time of coming across my channel, you are welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, you are equally and highly welcome. So on today's tutorial, we're going to be joining all our pattern that we have drafted and cut out from our previous video. This exaggerated hip beautiful gown, like, it's looking so pretty. This thing is so luxury. You can use it for your birthday shorts or any luxury party of your choice, like birthday short, party short. Like, it's giving everything you should give. So if you have not watched the drafting and cutting part, you can go ahead and watch it. For this part is the party 2 and continuation of our exaggerated hip gown. The gown is so beautiful. So if you are liking what you are seeing, just grab your seat and come with your popcorn and let's join our patterns together. Like I said earlier, the part 1 is already on my channel. You can go over to my channel and watch the part 1 so that you not get confused before you start watching this part 2. This part 2 is for joining of our exaggerated hip gown and halter neck with turtleneck. I forgot to mention halter neck. You see how pretty the halter neck armpit is sitting on me. It's so relaxed. There's nothing like bulkiness. So this is all everything that you are going to learn on this particular video. You are going to learn all the tricks I use in joining all these patterns together and making that hip so exaggerated, and how you are going to sew yours so that the exaggerated hip will not fall. No, when you don't know how to sew it, it will keep falling down. It will not sit properly. So let's dive in. These are all the patterns we drafted from our previous video. Like I said earlier, this is the part 2, whereas that other one is the part 1, which is the cutting and drafting of our pattern. So if you have not watched the part 1, you should go and watch it so that you not get confused why I'm explaining how to join and what to do. Let's go and watch the part 1 before we start watching the part 2. For this pattern, this is the upper part, which is the princess dart. You make use of princess dart and also halter neck. For the part I wrote F is the front, while the part I wrote back is the back, like B is the back. So let's start joining. We are going to start joining one by one so we don't get confused. Whereas this is the exaggerated hip part, you can see. So this was how we drafted it at. We use one pattern to get both the front and the back. Like I said earlier, this tutorial is so plenty, like everything, details are so plenty. So I'm gonna head to cut out the lining, and this is the front part. Like I said, we start joining one by one so you don't get confused. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and join the front part, the princess front. This is how I'm going to join it. I'm going to flip this other one and place it the right side facing the right side and sew by half an inch, and also do the same to the lining and both sides. So let me go and sew it and come and show you. So I've gone ahead to join the side to the center of our front, and this is how it's looking. So why after joining, if you have something like this, like excess like this, you can go ahead and trim it out. It's not a problem. You can go ahead and trim it out. Remember, we added ½ inch extra allowance for the sewing, so just trim it out. It's not a problem. So I intentionally wanted to trim it out on camera so that you will see that it's not a problem. So I'm also gonna head to sew to the lining as well, and I'm going to use this lining to turn that armpit area and the side. So I'm basically going to sew 0.25 on the armpit area, both the two armpits and the side. For the neck, we are not going to sew it. So I'm going ahead to sew it. So this is the outcome. You can see how I sewn the armpit area and the side. So what we are going to do for the armpit area, we are going to start notching the armpit area to give it a little bit of ease. After notching, if you want to top stitch, you can also go ahead and top stitch on the lining. So I'm basically going to notch it to ease that armpit area so that when I turn it to the right side, it's going to relax. So after notching it, I went ahead to trim it a little bit, and I'm going to turn it to the right side, take it to my ironing table and go and give it a proper ironing. You remember, a beautiful cloth, if you want to achieve a beautiful cloth, you iron as you sew. Don't wait until you finish your outfit before you iron. Each seam you sew, go ahead and iron. That is the secret of bringing out a neat and well detailed cloth. So for the front, we are ready. We are going to move out to the back, and we are also going to join the princess that like we did to the front, both the lining and the main fabric. The back, the difference is that it has a zipper allowance, so that is the difference. So after joining the princess that, which I'm going to do on our machine now, and I've gone ahead to join them. Look at it, it's looking so pretty. And I also do the same thing to the lining. So what we are going to do is basically, see, I'm trimming the armpit area. So if you have any excess at that armpit area, go ahead and trim it. So I'm basically going to use this lining to turn both the armpit, the zipper side, and the side. Remember, this thing is the back, it has a zip allowance, so we are basically going to sew 0.25 on the zipper allowance, armpit area, and the side. So I've gone ahead to sew it, top stitch it, and also flip it to the right side, and which I'm heading to my ironing table to go and iron press everything. And the upper part is so ready. We are going to start working on the down part, which is where the work is. You can see, my princess, that when I flip the front part, you can see that busty allowance, like it's giving room for our bust, where our bust is going to sit. That is the beauty of using princess dart to cut your clothes. For the down parts, we have gone ahead to cut the lining, and this is our working fabric. There we are basically going to cut out the peplum stare that we are going to use to give this down part structure. So you make use of your peplum stare and boning if you have boning. I'm basically going to use our main fabric to cut out the peplum stare, and I'm also going to do the same to the back. So what we are going to do is to cut out peplum stare first and keep it to one side. So this peplum stare is what is going to give it that structure, and also boning, your boning. So for this structure, all our structures are going to be on the lining, not on our working fabric. The reason why I'm using our main fabric to cut out the peplum stare is because our lining is white. If I use our lining, you will not see how I'm cutting it. That is the reason I'm using our main working fabric. So after cutting, I'm going to keep the fabric aside and now use our lining and gum it inside our lining. So I'm trying to notch the center and the dart area. So also remember to sew your dart. So this is our lining. I'm going to use my ironing to gum the peplum stare to my lining, and we are going to start sewing it. So after gumming it, this is how you sew. While sewing, always note the longer part, like the back, the longer part and the shorter part. Remember that the length of the skirt is not equal. We have shorter parts and longer parts, so always indicate it before you sew or iron your peplum stare. So after ironing, I went ahead to join our exaggerated hip skirt. I went and joined it by the side. Remember, we added 1 inch sewing allowance during our drafting part, so I've joined it, and you can go ahead and now add boning on that side. So the place you are going to add boning is the side that we just joined. But if you don't have boning, no problem, because I did not added boning because I don't have boning when I was sewing this particular project, so I left mine like that. But you can go ahead and add boning to give it more structure. You can see how structure our pattern is coming out already. So I'm going to keep the lining aside and start joining our main fabric, also using 1 inch sewing allowance. Remember, it's 1 inch sewing allowance that we added on our drafting pattern, like I said earlier. So always indicate where the longer part and the right part is, and place the front facing each other. I'm going to head over to my sewing machine to go and sew the side by 1 inch. I've gone ahead to sew it. You can see from the camera 1 inch. Also, while sewing, follow the curve. Don't just sew straight. Follow the curve that we gave it, so that your exaggerated hip will come out so nice. And this is the structure lining, while this is the fabric. I'm going to use the lining to turn our fabric from the down part, which is the curvy part, and that is it. I've gone ahead to join it, and we are going to join the upper part to the down part. I've also gone ahead to join the upper part. I've marked out my bust, my waist, and on the upper part, what we are going to do now is to notch the center of the down part and also notch the center of our upper part, and we are going to start joining by 1/2 inch. If you don't know how to join your clothes, you can also watch my previous video so that you know how to join your clothes. I don't want this tutorial to be that long, that is why I did not show when I was joining my bust and my waist, but you can watch my previous videos. And I'm going to go and join it. I've gone ahead to join the waist. This is how pretty it's looking. You can now go and weave it with the join it so that your clothes will be so neat. You can see that the front is looking nice, while the inside is also looking nice, which is the lining part is also looking nice. You can see what I'm going to do now is to start working on the turtleneck. So for the turtleneck, remember we measured the neck for the front and it gave us 5. Remember that our pattern is half pattern, so that 5, when you open it up, you are going to have 10. That is 5 plus 5, 10. While for the back also 4 plus 4, 8. That means the length of 18 is what we are going to use to cut our turtleneck. So we are going to add extra one in case we need it. I'm going to cut out from these pieces, leftover pieces that we have. The leftover pieces is no longer long like that, so I'm going to go and cut half. I'm going to basically fold the pieces together, and the width of the turtleneck is going to be 2.5, so that after sewing we'll be left with 1.5. I'm going to go ahead and start tracing our turtleneck. I'm going to fold it into 2 and cut out 2.5, so that after sewing we'll be left with 1.5. So that folded into 2, when you open it up, you are going to have 5, but you are going to sew the turtleneck on fold. I'm basically marking all around in order to get a straight line. So after marking it, I'm going to go ahead and cut it, and also trim out the side that are not equal. Remember, we are cutting from a pieces of fabric, and I'm going to trim out the parts that are not equal. I measured it. When I measured it, I had 11. I'm going to place it on another pieces of fabric like so, and place it and go ahead and cut it in order to use it and complete the 19 inches length of the turtleneck we are making use of. Remember, both the zipper allowance is also inside this 19 inches, and that is it. I'm going to go ahead and join it by 1/2 inch, the right side facing the right side. I'm quickly going to go ahead and join it. I've gone ahead to join it, and I'm trimming it in order to remove the excesses that did not align with the turtleneck, and that is it. What I'm basically going to do is to find the middle part and also fold it into 2. Like I said, we are going to sew on fold. After folding it like this, you are going to move over to your ironing table and go and iron the down part. Iron it inside by half an inch, and I'm going to notch the middle part because we are going to introduce our beautiful exaggerated gown, and we're also going to find the middle part of our neck, and we are going to notch it. So we are basically going to place that notch of your turtleneck to meet the notch of your neck, which is your gown neck, like this, your Halter neck. That is how you are going to iron it on your ironing table. So you are going to tuck in that neck in between that your turtleneck, like so. You are going to tuck it in between your turtleneck and use your office pin to hold it down. After holding it down, you are going to move over to your sewing machine and go and run a stitch over there. And this is how you go about your exaggerated Halter neck. And that is it. I've gone ahead to run a stitch on it, and you can, if you see closely, you can see how the line is looking so pretty. So this is the front, while this is the back part, and you go ahead and also go ahead to work on the back neck so that we can tuck it inside this our turtleneck. I'm going to go ahead and measure what I have on that neck so I will know how to shift my back neck. After measuring it, I had 7. So that's 7. From one end of the neck, I'm going to mark out 2.5. So this is where your hand is going to pass. If you are a slim person, you can go ahead and mark out 2 inches. If you're a bigger person, you can go ahead and mark out 3 inches. I made use of 2.5 where my hand will pass, and that is it. I also work ahead to mark out 2.5 on the other side, and from that 2.5 is where I'm going to start tucking in the back of my turtleneck, like so. Halter neck turtleneck. So this is how I'm also going to tuck it in, and now sew from that end, from that 2.5 all the way to the back end of our beautiful turtleneck gown. And we are also going to add zipper allowance, like I said earlier. So this is it. I've gone ahead to sew it, and this is how it's looking. So this is how you go about the neck of a Halter neck. So watch closely, just watch closely. You are going to understand what I did there. So the excesses, we are going to go ahead and cut out the excesses and trim out the threads that we don't need. I went ahead to reconfirm if it's 2.5 that I added. If you've watched closely, you can see that I added space of 2.5. I'm going to trim out the excess that we don't need by the side, and our neck is ready. So I went ahead to measure what I have, and I have exactly 18 inches. Remember, zipper allowance is also in that 18 inches, and that is it. We are done with this beautiful exaggerated halter neck gown. So what we are basically going to do is now to add our zipper on this zipper allowance, and our gown is ready. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. See you in my next video.